I could watch you for a lifetime.
Or colour barrier has no political or religious affiliation. On International Women's Day, my sisters, we celebrate our identity and we stand against discrimination on the basis of gender. We stand with those who live with guilty secrets, with those who live in fear of retribution, with those trapped in what they know to be unhealthy relationships, with those stuck in dependent and addictive situations. We stand with you. Lifeline, the organisation of which I'm the director, is unashamedly a faith-based organisation. And we have to have faith in God when faith in man is shaken so often, by stories from children and women and some men of abuse and exploitation. As a victim supporter, I've sat in casualty with rape victims, trying to pretend we're there for another reason, as the bored crowds stare at us and fantasize. I've listened to grown women tell of their experiences as children, which scarred them forever. I've talked with gay men who were introduced to transactional sex as teenagers and know no other way of life. I've heard of vagrants being gang raped and wealthy individuals hiding their black eyes and bruises. Under the law as it stands, married women are told that they cannot legally refuse their husband's sex unless they're legally separated. Nevertheless, no one has a right to violently assault you, even if they're married to you. No one. DNCW has a long history of being a haven for women trying to find the courage to say that they will leave and keep their word and not return. Not return to the relationships, those relationships that are dangerous and in some cases life-threatening. We all know some people whose relationship ended suddenly and tragically. Many women and girls have found their way down King George V Street to speak to Vanya David, Ophelia Linton, Delia Weeks, and more recently Tina Alfred. That's not me, I'm Tina Alexander. These friendly women listen, advise and support without being judgmental, and you will not find your information becoming a Beth on the road. Our helpline being launched today is born out of the collective experiences of DNCW and Lifeline and is aimed at those who need advice about how to report what's happening to them and the courage to face their situation and do something. Our service will be available 24/7 on 1800 744 3629. If you look on your phone, it's DNCW. Okay, 1800 744 DNCW 3629 3629. Have you got that? Yeah. DNCW 3629. And these free calls will be automatically forwarded to a responder. All the responders have been trained to help with up-to-date information about both government services and those offered by the NGOs, such as those who belong to the NGO Coalition for the Protection of Children and Youth. We also have information about counsellors, victim supporters and support groups. We can direct you to Crime Stoppers for anonymous tips and explain the process of reporting to the police or welfare. All our responders report to a qualified supervisor, either a counsellor or a social worker, and they will make sure that we respond professionally, confidentially. They won't put any information on the internet. Just to be clear, we're not taking reports. we're helping people to have the courage and the information that they need to make a report. The project was funded by the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives and included 7 public meetings with community members in Portsmouth, Salibier, Miro, Roseau, Grand Bay, La Plaine and Marigot. I did a lot of driving. It was nice to meet all those people in the district. Sometimes everything's in Roseau, but we did go to all the districts, and we shared about recognising the signs of abuse, reporting cases of abuse and recovering from abuse. We consulted over 200 nurses, teachers, pastors, parents and survivors, and we've come up with a brochure based on those discussions, which may or may not arrive before we go, but you will see them, and they will help you to know what to do if you yourself need to make a report. The project also funded some improvements to the facility at DNCW so that the support groups and training could be better hosted in confidential surroundings. And we do invite you, if you want to come and drop in this afternoon after this event. We've done some sandwiches and some juice and we'd love to see you there. So if you're not sure where it is, then come and find us. Okay, that's bribery with refreshment. But we'd like you to check it out. Know where it is, so if you need to take someone there to talk to someone, then you already know where it is. Some people still miss it. It's been there for how many years, and some people still don't know where it is, huh? We received a total of Canadian $25,275. So about double it for the EC. And that's a great example of how a strategic grant can influence the culture of a nation. Have you noticed how opinion is changing? How the tide is turning? How people are deciding that enough is enough? How people are saying they're going to speak out? Hallelujah. Now we know that ours is not the only initiative. Government agencies have been improving and publicising their protocols, and NGOs such as Child Fund and Carryman have been playing their parts. However, abuse in the family is a national problem, and we all need to stop turning a blind eye. There's tremendous therapeutic value in breaking the silence. When victims speak out, they disempower the perpetrator and they expose him or her in their weak, shameful behaviour. They take the first step towards recovery. They join with the vast majority who say violence and abuse has no place in our homes or communities. If you have been abused or are currently trapped in a relationship that you know puts you at risk, do call. If you're not yet ready to report, or even if the perpetrator has died, you still need help. If you're a parent whose child was abused, you need help too, to cope with the murderous feelings that threaten to overwhelm you. Please call, we'll help you find a counsellor. Please tell your children this message. If someone is touching you sexually, or sending you pornography, or asking you to send them nude pictures, or having oral, anal or vaginal sex with you, this is never, ever, ever right. Shall I say it again?
Yes.
If someone is touching you sexually, or sending you pornography, or asking you to send them nude pictures, or having oral, anal or vaginal sex with you, it's never, ever, ever right. It's always, always wrong. And the child is not to blame. Okay? The child is not to blame. Okay? Even if the child is now initiating things, it's because of what happened to them before. Okay? So what's important is we remember that adults have to take responsibility for their actions. Now the systems are not perfect. Okay? We know the DPP's office, the police, the welfare division and the education guidance counsellors all need more staff. more training, more resources. But don't let that stop you reporting. We need to keep on reporting. It's the only way we're going to get more resources. Share your story in the right place with the right people. And let us change Dominica's reputation. We don't want Dominica to be known as somewhere where it's easy to pay for play, where child sex and pornography is available with one sext or a WhatsApp message. No! What do we say? No! We want Dominica to be known as somewhere that's unusually tough on sex crimes, especially those with children, where society as a whole takes its job of protecting the children seriously. This is not just about government, it's about all of us. Finally, a special plea to those who have lived with their painful memories for decades. You were probably not the first or the last victim of your abuser. There's no statute of limitations for rape. Please grab your courage and speak on behalf of the child that's frozen in time inside you. You'll be saving another child from going through what happened to you. So here's the number: 1-800-744-3629. That's DNCW. So that's 1-800-744-3629. And thank you.